take projection.
Welcome everybody to Taking On Sports. I am TD. That is Greg. Greg, how you been, man?
Man, I'm pretty good. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm trying to fight off this bug that either my kid's giving me or I got working at festival last week or whatever. Either way, I'm fighting it, man. I'm
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
chugging Mucinex.
Oh man,
Just
that's
chugging it.
tough.
But I'm here. The weekend was helped a little bit by what happened in Athens, Georgia on Saturday night. Our Crimson Tide went into a hostile environment, ended Georgia's 33-game home winning streak, added another loss to Alabama to Kirby's resume, silenced some doubters across the country and within the Tide's own fan base about Kadyn DeBoer and Ty Simpson and everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a great win overall. Hot start, jumped up 14-0. Ty looked great. The offense looked great. Just everything was on time. Really the only negative thing you could say early on was that Ryan Williams drop.
Yeah.
Got to get that figured out. Got to get he's got to get out of his head. But man, I thought overall Ty Simpson handled the pressure great, man. Because he was eluding rushers, he was hitting his guys, and perfect windows. I mean, both of those early touchdown passes, just great throws, man.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I thought the game plan and the play calling by Ryan Grubb was just outstanding.
Absolutely.
I mean, of course, everybody loves that little screen that Tyler Proctor, man, or Kadyn Proctor. I mean, just Kadyn Proctor, but yeah, just rumble, big man, rumble.
Even Doe for the pylon. That was
right.
great.
Yeah, it was funny because I read one thing about it too. I didn't even notice it, but saw a replay and I read one guy on it who his whole joke is Roger Sherman, an absolute great college football writer, but he was like, really you should throw it to the 6'7", 360-pound guy because people aren't going to want to tackle him, and he pointed out that he's like he even he's not a runner because he didn't go down the clear blocking path that his guys had for him, and if you watched the replay that they actually did if he had one to the inside, but he chose
he had the touchdown.
Yeah,
he chose to get contact.
Exactly, and man, he got the first down, and Ty scored on the next play, right, or a couple plays after. So overall the offense is good. No points in the second half. That was a little concerning, but they made plays when they needed to. Obviously, the big one at the end of the game, that another great play call, that kind of
beautiful
counter swing pass. I don't even know what you call that there, but and then the defense stepped up when they needed to. Big fourth down stop late in the game. You definitely some questions for Kirby Smart choosing to go for it instead of kicking the field goal that would have tied it, but.
Yeah.
But even that was still like 10 minutes left in the game, so they held Georgia on a couple more drives. So go ahead, talk about it. Where do you want to start with the game?
Man, Kadyn DeBoer. If there's one thing you could say about him last year and this year, come out of a bye week, they come out strong.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that last year with the Georgia to LSU game. We saw it again last night. I mean, that offense came out roll. First, the great 3 and out there by the defense there on that opening drive. Well, I think they may have got a first, but got off the field pretty quickly there. Got the ball, rolled right in, scored the touchdown. I mean, that offense is, when it's going, it's going. And Ty Simpson has turned into a quarterback before this season that I never thought he would turn into. Honestly, I know, if he had that in him, but I don't know. You saw a little of it in the FSU game. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest game, but he never gave up. He kept fighting. So you saw a little bit, but since then he's really stepped into his own. Just the way his confidence levels through the roof. I mean, he, throwing little a pep talk right before they ran out on the field last night. He's definitely set himself up as the leader of the team, and everybody seems to be responding to it. And he's taking his game to another level. I mean, with 11 touchdowns, no interceptions so far in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And there was somebody that said, "Oh, he's not the guy after the talent." And I didn't. I don't know exactly what they were looking at because I thought he was in a lot of bad situations, Tallahassee. But he's more than shown that he is that guy. So I mean, kudos to him. Kudos to Ryan Grubb's game plan. I mean, that first half was about as good as you can expect against you know, a formidable defense there. A formidable defense. And they held on in the second half. And that was key because I mean the defense was out there a lot more in the second half, and they gave up plays, but they didn't really break too much, and that was the biggest thing is when it mattered the most, the defense came through. We're gonna still work a lot on our Russian defense.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, man, Vanderbilt, they're a monster this year.
Yeah,
But
definitely a concern, but we'll get there.
definitely a concern there. But overall, I mean, you can't ask for too much more to go into that environment. 33, and then like no one really thought, people thought we keep it close just because that's how this game usually goes. But outside of Alabama fans and folks in Tuscaloosa, I don't think it was a lot of folks who really thought Alabama's going to win this game because everybody's thinking about week one still. And man, they just answered the bell and, you know, well, came out with the confidence and stuck it to Georgia early and just held on. So I mean, you can't ask for too much more from this team at this point. And just in in the month, just how different things feel now compared to that first weekend.
Absolutely right. Yeah, uh, a lot of people bummed after that trip to Tallahassee, and rightfully so. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, hey, like, yeah, there's still things that could be tweaked and worked on, but yeah, obviously you go into Athens, you beat Georgia. It's great in the way you do it too. You get out to a hot start and a second straight year too, like you mentioned, coming out the bye week, great start. A little similar to last year, where and not much going on in the second half. So you do maybe a little worry about how Kirby
Right.
can make the adjustments versus Ryan Grubb and figured out the offense. But maybe we went a little more conservative in the second half too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned the run defense, of course. Yeah, that's definitely something that's worrisome going into this big game with Vanderbilt, who are game day coming to town for an Alabama Vanderbilt game. Never thought I'd
Who would have
say
ever
that.
thought that day would come,
I
right?
know, right? But Vandy, like you said, they have the number four ranked scoring offense in the country right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, they can run the ball with Diego Pavia and company. They got weapons all over the place. So for our offense, which is ranked, or our rush defense, which is like 89th or something in the country, it's not good.
Yeah, they
Definitely,
ain't gonna
that's
have
what they're
that.
going to have to work on next week. One thing I noticed, little things, though, even our run game, wasn't great. We got Jam Miller back, and he definitely had some tough runs. But we kept at it, in the second half
Exactly.
especially. Yeah, we even if when it was only getting 2-3 yards a pop, we just kept running the ball, taking the clock away, and it's those little body blows that you get the defense. It tires them out, and so you can make a play like that game clinching first down where they're expecting run, and all of a sudden I guess it. Again, I don't know what you call that play design, but if Ty Simpson gets the ball in the shotgun, he sprints left to start, and takes like a step and then pivots and turns back. It's almost like a fake QB power, maybe is what they set up, and then
Right. And the little screen pass
yeah, you had even
and it's
a couple of those weird little Grub and DeBoer wrinkles where they ran like a mini Philly special for like 5 yards, and
yeah, kind of a risky way to get a first down, but hey, it worked. It's like whoa.
yeah, exactly. I saw someone, I think it was Spencer Hall of shut down Fullcast. I think he posted on Blue Sky where he's like, always trust Ryan or Kalen DeBoer to pull out an effective yet totally unnecessary play call on like a fourth and short yardage situation.
Yeah.
Because I remember he had a big one at Washington that their title run year where they clinched the game against Oregon by running them reverse.
Yeah.
But yeah, sticking with the run game was big because eventually that's going to pay off. Eventually you're going to break one. A guy like Jam Miller, Riley, he's getting more and more carries every week.
Yeah.
Eventually that's going to open up holes in the play action.
I would think so.
I thought it was interesting. I don't know if that was an adjustment that Georgia made that we didn't take more shots downfield. Because Ryan Williams, we mentioned the drop, that was a touchdown. If he called that in, that's a big touchdown. But also great to come back. He came back. He made a lot of tough catches over the middle. Got popped a couple times.
He definitely got popped.
He came back. He even had there was another Jam Miller. I think it was a first down run. I want to say maybe second quarter or at some point, because I feel like it was for a first down. But he had a great block too. Toward the end of the play with a guy chasing down Jam, Ryan turned around and just put him on the floor. So that's what you like to see. As long as he's not pouting, as long as he's still giving effort in the other areas of the game, it'll come. Those big plays will come back. We saw it against Wisconsin.
Yeah, he seems to be. He seemed to handle yesterday pretty well. He was still active. He got a couple more, some good catches. Got popped and held on and no problem there. But honestly, things worked out there because Georgia had the same thing happen with their 5-star freshman. He dropped that one touchdown, so it came back there. But overall, I definitely. It was good to stick with the run game. Hopefully, it becomes more productive, as the season goes. I would like to see the offensive line get a little more push.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just don't know what's happened to that. Like we just don't have any type of push.
It's certainly weird. That said, we do have to give them credit for their pass protection. They were great last night. They kept
Ty had all day. I mean, he didn't seem rushed hardly at all last night.
They kept him clean. Everything was on time for our passing routes because this is very much a timing based passing game. And then a couple times when Georgia, had more rushers than we had blockers, Ty did a good job either getting the ball out or there's a couple plays where he
moving around.
Yeah, I mean, even that second touchdown where he spun out of a sack and fired it to Horton. And going back to what we were talking about Ryan Williams, too, it's the good thing with that, too, is that unlike last year, we don't need him to be our everything.
He didn't have to be a superstar.
Jeremy Bernard has turned into our do-everything guy. Isaiah Horton has proven to be a big-time player. We got that the freshman I'm blanking on his name. 17. Brooks.
Brooks.
So we got our tight ends got involved last night. Obviously the running backs. So we're spreading the ball around. And then there was one more little thing I noticed too yesterday. After the big touchdown pass we did give up, then they mentioned it on the broadcast too. But Kane Womack greeted every one of his the defenders coming off the field after that, and said, "That's my fault, guys. That's on me. That was a bad coverage call." And you love to see that accountability from coaches. Let the players know, like, hey, it's not on you. Granted, what's his face? The defender did bite on that move. Got caught with his eyes looking in the backfield, but it happens, and you hope you have safety help when that happens. I'd say Damani. But he also had a huge hit later in the game, too. Knocked the ball loose. Overall, exactly the type of game you wanted to see. Because it's one thing to go in there if you go in and you blow them out or whatever, but to go in, win a tough game where you got to hold on, because I'm sure there are a lot of people, doubt started creeping in, like, oh, man, like, offense isn't doing it. Georgia's definitely going to score here or score late, and it just didn't happen. Like I said, defense stepped up when they needed them, and offense.
That fourth and inches tackle. That was quick.
He did, yeah. And we did it. Obviously getting Tim Keenum back was huge. Lost Rasal. to injury, and then lost who was it, Smith, that got ejected for the targeting. So that'll
Dude, I thought that was I thought that was a trash call.
yeah. I mean, it's
I, I
it's just the reason we just need to define what targeting is. It's weird. You
dude, it
know,
changes per game because they're like,
yeah,
well, if you lead with the helmet, but it's not the crown of the helmet, it's
yeah.
like it's so because we'll talk about that game, but the big targeting that didn't get called that they overruled in the Penn State Oregon game at the end. They're like way
Mm-hmm.
5 times worse. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, I know he didn't lead with the crown of his helmet, so it was okay. I'm like, what? what? What is targeting these days? Other thing I don't like about targeting, yeah, give him the 15 penalty, but if it's something like that where he's not going out of his way to headhunt, like why are they going to get rid of the ejection? If it's not ridiculous,
I
let's
agree. I
stop
think,
that.
or do something where it's like you got to do like unsportsmanlike, where you got to do two to eject them or something. Like
Yeah, because I mean, obviously he was in the play of the game. It wasn't malicious. He wasn't trying to kill someone who wasn't paying.
defenseless guy.
I was
Yeah.
yeah, defenseless guy. I'm just like, dude, what? I mean, that's football. Like,
Well, and that's
years ago, that's just a hell of a play.
yeah, and that defenseless thing always
But
gets me too because I forget what game it was. I don't remember if it was this weekend or last, but they reviewed the targeting, and then they overturned it, and they said the receiver had turned into a runner at that point, so he was not defenseless. Blah 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 blah, and it's like, wait, what? Like, and so in this instance, the guy's in the middle of a pile. He ducks his head down, and then he's in the scrum, and our guy goes, Smith goes in to help finish the play, and
right.
I don't know. Like I said, just give me a clear define, and I'm with you. Get rid of the ejection automatically. If you want to
Unless
do
it's
it,
egregious, yeah.
yeah. Exactly. Unless it's like, oh, that the receiver was diving and you lowered your head, or quarterback sliding and you dive at him with your crown, then, or
Yeah,
something like. If you do it twice in the game, then okay, you're out. But yeah, the ejection part is because now, yeah, he's out for the first half of the Vandy game now, and that's huge. To
that
lose,
is huge.
guys against that
What?
offense, that's
Yeah.
it's
Especially
unfortunate.
since we're having a couple injuries already. It's like, man, we need to have as many people available
Hmm.
as possible. But yeah, I mean, I didn't. But I mean, I understand. I mean, target is one thing, but yeah, get rid of the ejection part. I don't see what that really serves the purpose of. I mean, most of the time with football plays, no one's trying to hurt anybody. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
a lot of these targeting that aren't super crazy. So I just don't think it's necessary to eject them.
No, I'm with you.
But yeah,
Yeah.
maybe give him the 15, and if he has a second one, then you may, yeah. But
And then of course, like we said, just tell us what it is, man. Like define it for us, please.
well, it's like a catch though. It's like it changes per whoever's the referees
The
are.
referee.
You know,
Yeah.
you just don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's about as great of a game as you could ask for. Really, the only super negative thing that sticks out was that one missed field goal, which was woof.
Oh my gosh,
I don't know what happened. Just
what was that?
miskicked it. It looked like a clean snap and hold, and it didn't look like he slipped. I don't know. He just didn't hit
It
it
was just
right.
horrible.
But I
At
mean,
first, I was like, I had watched it. I had to revert real quick. Watch it a couple times. Did someone tip the ball? No one touched it. I thought, well, clearly someone had to hit it right.
that's what I did. I rewound it. It's like, oh, that must have been like a bad hold or something, or he slipped. Nope,
So
just
just a
hey.
horrible kick.
Sometimes you shank it. Man, anybody who's ever played golf or anything,
Yeah, that was. It's like if you play Madden and you
yeah, right.
hit,
You
hit
hit
the
the arrow
wrong
all the way
time.
on the left. Yes, I mean, I was about to say I've had a couple of those in college football this
Yeah,
year, like a
yeah.
shitty
But
kicker in
I'm
a
just like, man,
hostile environment.
that was.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I was like, oh,
yeah.
that's
So
tough.
hopefully
You don't want
that's
to see.
yeah.
Hopefully,
Hopefully
yeah.
that's not something that comes around. That's just a he goes, yeah.
Because
Fuck
at
fuck
some
that one up,
point, we
guys. Yeah.
might.
Yeah, I think it's clear. Yeah, in the SEC this year and college football in general,
We're
it's
going
going
to
to
need
be
a kick.
it's
Some
close
point.
games. There are no clear-cut dominant teams. This is
Oh,
not 2012 murder ball Alabama. So hopefully, yeah, that was
there's
just
a
a he
lot
can.
of
Hopefully, he can just laugh that one off. Maybe they make a few jokes in film session and go from
hopefully
there.
so.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, he's obviously. I mean, he's a coveted kicker. He's had great had a great high school career, and man,
I
just hope
mean,
that
nailed his other kick. Yeah.
yeah. So hopefully he can get it together. But yeah, I mean, overall, can't complain too much. I would say that our biggest things are making. I would say, of course, Russian defense. I mean, we gave up over 200 on the ground there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of 4 or 5 yard runs are better throughout the night. So we got to get in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing too. Yeah, I mean, I mean that's gonna happen in time. But man, you would like to see a little more firepower from the offense in the second half
Yeah, a
because
little more.
we
Yeah.
last night, but at some point, we're gonna have a game where we're gonna have to definitely score in the second half to win.
Yeah, and maybe it's this week coming up. It was a shootout
Yeah,
last year,
we might
Vandy.
be in a shootout
Yeah.
because Vandy, what did they put 70 some up last week, 55 up this week? I mean, Vandy is not only winning games, but they're putting up
Score. Yeah.
crazy numbers.
Scoring at will. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, for sure.
55 against Utah State,
You'd like to see.
74.
Yeah. More
Jesus.
complete games from the offense. You'd like to obviously see the rush game improve on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And then just, hey, everyone stays healthy. And another good thing, too, that we should mention the offense, great on third down.
Oh, fantastic.
Fell off a bit in the second half, but started the game, like 10 of 10 on third down or something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
But that's also Georgia. Glenn Schumann getting the defense in the right spot. I mean, he had some stuff to figure out there, and a good defense is going to figure some things out that they can get better at. But yeah, I'd say that's our big thing is just how do we, when they figure some stuff out, we got to evolve our offense to fit, but still with what the game allows us to do there.
Yeah. Well, and the good thing is we don't play Georgia every week. So,
Yep, yep.
but again,
So
Georgia fans obviously just. I wonder at this point if you're a Georgia fan, if it just drives you crazy or if you just laugh at this point and you go, all right, whatever. Like, Alabama beat us. What's new?
yeah,
But
I don't know.
there's definitely some going forward, too. You do have to wonder, the lack of that kind of explosive, passing game that they've had. They tried, like we said, they had the one shot that might have been just a bad coverage call on our sake. Other than that, they had the one drop, but other than that, they really it was the running game, and we knew that it was going to be the running game, but their big explosive plays all came on the ground, except for the one touchdown. It was the only downfield throw that I can really remember. Besides that, was that huge third down. They converted in the third quarter where Branch got just. I mean, Bray Hubbard tipped the ball. Branch still called it and then got pinballed. Just two big hits and held on. So great catch by him. Great throw by
I was like,
Stockton. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do wonder.
As electric as that passing game was against Tennessee, I don't know why they didn't even.
And I think it's fair to question now, like, how is that Tennessee defense maybe not as good as we thought? Because, Mississippi State was scoring on them.
Some points. Yeah, Mississippi State took them to the wire. My goodness.
On the ropes, an overtime game. We'll get to that in a second. But, anything else in the Bama game you'll talk about?
No, I think, we know where we need to be at this point of the season.
Right. 3-1, 1-0 in the SEC. Hey, let's go take care of business in this revenge game next week.
Absolutely.
The other huge game, I mean, there was a bunch of them, but a huge primetime game last night. It was a great weekend of football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 6 Oregon traveled across country to Happy Valley, take on number 3 Penn State. The whiteout game day, and they were just dominating for a while. Actually, it was 3-3. It was a classic Big Ten snooze fest for a while.
Yeah.
Oregon started
And
turning
honestly,
on.
I didn't watch. I didn't watch any of that game other than
No,
after
me
our
neither.
game was off to turn into
Yeah.
overtime. Because I mean, that once Alabama, I'm locked in. I don't care what week it is. I'm locked in.
Yeah, maybe during a commercial I might flip over see what's going on, but yeah, I'm back quick. I watched some highlights afterwards. But Dante Moore, say everything I've read and the highlights I watched, he really kind of a star making performance
Man,
there,
he's a hell of a yeah.
and just some once again the Penn State offense just stuttering and can't get anything going. Although hats off to them, a furious comeback late, got to overtime, and then Oregon scores first, and then misses the 2-point, so there's a chance, and then first play of overtime. Which I saw, is it Sam Macho, I think, on Twitter. He breaks down a lot of games and stuff like that. And I saw one here. He said it was a terrible play design. It was basically 3 or 4 Penn State receivers all going to the sideline on that play, effectively meaning that 1 or 2 Oregon guys can cover all those guys, and that's exactly what happened. So. And watching that replay, there was nobody in the middle of the field. It seemed wide open for him. But questions again. Big game James.
Man,
I'll tell you what, the most offensive thing in that game was when he punted from the Oregon 36. I know some boo birds came out there in Happy Valley. As they should have. You cannot punt at the opponent's 36. I don't care what it was. 4th and 9, whatever. Throw a Hail Mary at worst or do something, man. But don't punt. You can't punt. If your kicker doesn't have the leg or whatever, that's fine. But you can't punt at the 36-yard line, man. Crazy. Just absolutely crazy. So once again, Penn State fails to win the big game. Didn't hurt them too much in the rankings. They only dropped to like 7th or so, but I guess it's fair after losing number 6. But man,
well, but really, this was a big game. They still have Ohio State, but that's in where Columbus, I believe. This was your time to really get a big win. You have a hell of an atmosphere.
A whiteout game.
You have whiteout game at night. Not only that, but finally got the night one. They've had a couple where they've had day games because the Big Ten does weird stuff at times, but with their 11 o'clock big games. But anyway, you had everything that you could have possibly wanted there. But for them to get down 17-3 is wild.
Yeah.
Then you come back, you get it to overtime, and, you think, man, this is our time to go. You score first, and then you let them one play score for Oregon, and then
even then you get you deny. I think they picked it off on the 2-point try, so now as an offense going in, hey man, touchdown, extra point, we're winners here. We come back, we win, great win. Start your Big Ten season off right, huge win.
Absolutely.
Prove to people this might be our year, and now all these same doubts are creeping in, and now you have to prove it again, and that's pretty much the story of the Jame Franklin era at Penn State is prove it, and they have yet to prove it.
They win the games that they're supposed to, and any game where there's any question, they find a way to lose.
Yeah.
And Drew Aller again. Another big time game where he doesn't really look good.
No,
14 and 25, 137 yards, interception at the end there.
Yeah.
For a guy that we've heard for 4 years about Drew Aller is going to be his time. Yeah, I don't know when that time is because he got outplayed. Dante Moore was basically Man, he put on
Um,
a show.
yeah, this
What he
was
had
his.
43 passes, well, 10
Yeah.
incomplete, 29 and 39. I mean, no interceptions, no fumbles, 248 on the man. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
this was
this.
his star making performance for everybody who, was
Absolutely.
questioned,
For
if he
once,
was,
so it was.
yeah, the right guy to come
Yeah.
in. He was I think a solid recruit at UCLA, but, everyone's like, well,
Yeah.
is he really the guy that can lead a program like Oregon? And he proved it last night. He is in a hostile environment across the country. Yeah, so now long season, of course. Penn State has, they have you mentioned, they got the Ohio State game. They have opportunities to get back into the Big Ten race and get into the
Mhm.
playoff. But again,
I mean,
like I said, it's
I mean, it's there. Everything's still right there for him. But the
mhm,
thing is, Penn State, if they, had multiple 12-team playoffs, they would have been in multiple playoffs. It's
mhm.
not about that. It's about actually winning something. To,
Yeah.
winning the Big Ten, winning the national title.
And after
They've done everything else in between that.
yeah, and after last year, got to the semifinal and were real close to
Should have probably been in the final, honestly.
yeah, and should have beat Notre Dame. Of course, a Drew
Yeah.
Aller interception ended that game.
Yep.
So yeah, again, like I said, they did nothing to answer any questions or remove doubt, and that's now you have to fight against that the rest of the year.
Yep.
Let's move on to the other big game of the day: Ole Miss and LSU from Oxford. Ole Miss takes down the Tigers. Great game, as it is usually between these two teams. A rivalry that they will keep. We'll come back to that as the SEC announced the permanent
Yep.
opponents. A crazy game. I remember at one point I think I had the quad box up. I was feeling real
Mhm.
rough early yesterday. I was just on the couch, dozing in and out. Like I said,
Yeah.
chugging all the cough medicine. And it was 7-3 LSU at one point, and then I swear I blinked, and all of a sudden it was 17-7 Ole Miss. I was like, oh, well, okay. I tell you what, man, ooh, Trinidad Chambliss, man, that kid's a star.
Been in Division Two,
Yeah,
and then it's
Ferris State. Yeah, and then where did he had a stop at Michigan too, and then he comes to Ole Miss. So absolutely, huge win for the Rebels there. Another tough loss for Brian Kelly and LSU.
yeah,
Maybe some questions about that defense. It's still a very good defense, but maybe
still good defense, but maybe not
mo-
as good as.
yeah, we thought. And then still more. This was supposed to be the year that the offense was supposed to be the
Yeah,
story again. It wasn't going to be Jaden Daniels, but Garrett Nussmeier. Everything was supposed to be there. And man,
he's going. And we're supposed to have these wide
uh
receivers are going to be elite. Garrett Nussmeier's been there forever.
yeah.
It's going to be his time to really step. I mean, he was okay. He's been okay all season. He just hasn't been
But that's the
the star
problem.
that
Yeah,
we
he needs to be.
going to
Yeah,
be.
to do what they want to do, he needs to be better than okay. And right now,
Uh,
he's not, and that's
he is not. They have a lot to figure out on that offense.
absolutely.
Because that deep, I mean, honestly, I mean, yeah, I think if their offense was what it's supposed to be,
Mhm,
their defense did enough to win that game yesterday. I mean, they only gave up
mhm,
24 to a Ole Miss team that can put up points. So I mean, the
mhm,
defense, I thought, I mean, they gave up some stuff, but I mean, it was also honestly now that we've seen a lot more from Clemson and Florida. Obviously, I mean, this is the best
mhm,
offense they played all year.
mhm.
And so, I mean, to hold Ole Miss at 24 is actually, probably going to be one of the lowest on the season, honestly.
Yeah,
Um,
no, like I said, is you can't really blame this one on the defense.
no,
Like
the
you said,
offense did not do anything to help out there.
no, yeah,
Touted and as big as it was going to be,
mhm,
yeah, just not what you want to see if you're a Tiger fan. There, I mean, you expected better things from this.
mhm,
But man, kudos to Ole Miss, man, getting the big win, and honestly, this game has really turned into hell of a game because for most of our lives, most of everybody's lives, I mean, it's been a one-sided affair.
Mm-hmm.
The LSU has dominated the overall series, but the last basically since Lane Kiffin's been there, it's been hardly anything but that. I mean, they've gone every, you know, it seems the home team wins a lot, but Ole Miss has held their own. So,
Yeah.
it's definitely changed the way this series is looked at now.
Yeah. Now you have like I said, huge win for Ole Miss, and
Yeah, absolutely.
a great win going forward for them in conference. A little to the south in the state of Mississippi and down in Starkville, we said, man, it's. I think they're becoming like everybody's second favorite team all of a sudden. But
Oh yeah,
the Bulldogs of Mississippi State, man, them Cowboys were ringing and they almost had the Vols.
and they had them.
Yeah,
They had them.
a couple unlucky
Ah,
bounces, and then
yeah.
overtime, and right off the receiver's hands. Just tough loss if you're State. Now what, 13 straight SEC losses. Thought they had it. You hope for their sake that they don't, let it
Yeah, you
spiral
hope
from
not.
there. That hey, it's
But
only their first loss of the year. They still had that big win over Arizona State. They go, I think, to Kyle Field next week.
yeah,
Um,
that's a tough spot to go.
yeah, but
And Tom Field was rocking it yesterday.
I
But
think if anything, though, you realize it proves two things: that Arizona State win wasn't just a fluke, and that Jeff Lebby has this program going the right direction.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah, it's
I mean, yeah, I mean they had many chances to win yesterday, and then we saw Arizona State BTC come back and beat TCU on Friday night. So I mean, obviously
hmm
it shows that that wasn't just some weird thing like or the Arizona State's overrated. I mean they flat out came and won that game. But at the same time, you would hope, yeah, that they build off that because I mean, it's not like a team with a whole bunch of expectations and then you lose a game. I mean, honestly, I don't, no one expected Mississippi State to win yesterday, but the fact that they were right there and had an opportunity to says a lot about that just a what 1 year difference has done. Jeff Lebby, clearly has his people in the right spots, and they're gonna you know they're gonna give some teams some fits this year. They're
hmm
already 4-1 there, so I mean, hopefully, definitely at least get to that 6 mark, so get them to a bowl game because that would be huge for this program.
absolutely, yeah. And I'll tell you what, man, the massive improvement of that defense from last year is
Oh,
just incredible.
absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously, it's hard to say that, when you give up 41, but man, they make plays, um, and it's really
Yeah.
what has contributed to their good start. Um, we mentioned A&M. They took down Auburn, kind of a slugfest. Another offensive stinker from Auburn, man.
Oh,
And I tell you right now, it's
they had
exactly.
they had no third down conversions.
Oh, it was rough. Another
They
rough
had
game,
none.
man. And for last week, the
That's
week we missed, that tough loss in Norman. There was, questions about the refs, and yeah, the
not a question mark. I
bad
get
game from
it.
the refs, but also they gave
Ooh,
what 10 sacks and
yeah. And
uh,
Honky Sack Jackson.
exactly they only converted like 20% of first downs. They only had
Yeah.
like 60 some rushing yards for an offense that's supposed to be led by the running game, and it's more of the same
Yeah.
problems this week, man. They just
Yeah.
a couple good plays by the receivers, obviously, the talented group, but man, this offense just looks lost. And
Yeah.
I
Only gave
think,
up 176 total yards and
hmm
held Auburn to 0-12 on third down.
yeah, that is not. It's not going to get it done. It's exactly the questions that we brought up in our SEC preview. It's like, we hear all these things about Hugh Freeze, great offensive masterminds. Like, are we sure? Because right now, or Jackson Arnold, he's in the right place now. It's like, are we sure? Because there was some body language from his receivers, man, showed some frustration with him for sure, as he missed
Yeah.
a couple of deep
18
shots.
to 30, 18
Yeah,
to 33. So not even 50% passing.
yeah, a little bit over, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, a little over, but I mean,
Yeah.
you,
But you got to
you
do
can't
better.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
a 35 QBR rating.
Mm.
And the other thing on top of that, I mean, Auburn is always known for having a solid running game. 52 yards on the ground, 2.2 average. That's not really Auburn football at all.
No, it is not. It is absolutely not. Um,
So something is definitely missing. I mean, and again, A&M is has a great defense, but still, yikes.
yeah,
That's
Kyle Field, tough place to play. They're I mean, that's a team that's pushing for a playoff spot themselves. They're looking every bit the part. Obviously you want to see a little bit better offensive effort from them too, but Auburn's a tough
you
defense
know,
as well. And
Le'Veon Mosso had a day
he
on the
did,
ground.
man. That is a good running back, man. Tell you what, happy that they're not on the schedule in the regular season this year for Alabama.
Yeah.
That is,
This might be the so far. The look at things, this might be the Aggie team that the Aggies have been hoping for since they came to the. They had the Johnny thing, but that was
mhm,
I wouldn't say flukish, but 2012, they kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, they were okay.
mhm,
I mean, the big kind of fame was our game, and Johnny and that offense. But this seems like the most complete A&M team.
for sure.
Honestly, since, when they were really good in the early '90s, mid '90s, when R.C. Slocum had that Reckham defense before the Southwest
Mm.
Conference faded. The Aggies were like elite, and they seem to be getting there right this year. I mean,
Yeah, they really have. They've had spots. They finished just one loss in that 2020 season, right? The Alabama game
yeah,
was the only loss I believe they
right.
had.
But it was a bad loss
Yeah, it
to make
was
the
a
playoff.
very
Yeah.
bad loss. But
But I mean,
yeah,
they're
I think you're right. I think Mike Elko's proven to be the right hire there, and I think the way he's instilled the kind of an intensity and discipline there that they were
yeah,
lacking, and that's definitely a team to watch out for. And
absolutely.
then on the other side, we talked about it at the time, but did Auburn make a big crucial mistake in not just keeping Cadillac Williams as their coach and
Yeah,
spending the money on coordinators instead of putting the money toward
yeah.
Hugh Freeze now? And it doesn't get easier for them, man. That schedule does not get easier. They
No,
get a
no.
bye next week, but
Hey,
yeah, mm,
and
it's
really, I
rough.
don't
Yeah.
know, but just from the media standpoint and the local radio shows, a bye week is a bad week after two straight losses. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
good. That's
yeah,
not a
yeah,
spot where you want to be because they have nothing but time to dissect everything.
yeah. Exactly.
Nothing
That's
but nothing but time. But
all.
they,
Yeah.
but the thing with Auburn, two frustrating losses in a row. But then at the same time, if you're a fan, you're like, well, damn, we were still in these games. They
Yeah.
could have easily. I mean, they could have won last week. They could have won this week. But
Hmm.
they just don't have what it takes to finish games at all.
No.
Um,
Yeah, and that's
that's- I mean,
not going
so
to
in
get
that
done in
case,
the
I mean,
SEC.
they're in a little better spot, and then they're not getting. Yeah, but yeah, and you know, a bye week, and then Georgia. That's yeah.
Mm.
Their schedule outside of Kentucky and Mercer. Oof. Maybe Arkansas now, because man, who knows?
Yeah. We'll talk. Yeah.
Who knows?
But elsewhere, man, hell of a Friday night of football.
How was it?
Of course, the big story: Florida State
Three,
goes
three,
down.
three crazy games.
Three great games. Yeah. Florida State goes down at Virginia. Alabama fans not happy to see that, but great effort from the Wahoos
No,
there.
I'm not like that. I enjoy it.
To
I'm
hell
like,
with
man,
yeah.
we still control everything we want to do. If they want to go out and lose some games, I'm all for it. I don't care.
And that's true.
You
Yeah,
know,
it doesn't. Especially now with the expanded playoff, it's a little less,
yeah.
concerning about
I'm
that
all.
your
I mean,
opponent's records.
I
But
mean, I
yeah,
still, you don't want them to fall flat on their face and not win the rest of the season, of course, because then you're like, what the hell?
yeah.
But but kudos to Virginia. I mean, this is a program, and we talked about it, man. We were like, this might be Tony Elliott's last year. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we did that preview. It was looking pretty bleak for the Cavaliers, and they're having a hell of a season right now.
Yeah, what 4-1? Uh,
4-1 on the year. You beat Florida State. I
hmm
mean, and they were playing with a lot of passion. I mean, they were real. The crowd
hmm
was. I mean, you don't always get that. They're a pretty wine and cheese crowd, very reserved, and they were man that rush at the end. They were on the
Ooh,
field in like point 0.2 seconds
man,
after that pick.
those two players in the corner of the end zone there. That was a little scary for a second there, but
Yeah,
yeah, a great win for Virginia, and we'll see how Florida State responds there. But that is such is life. In college football, the other game, TCU went to Arizona State, and a great game there. Arizona State pulls it out at the end.
man,
A
it
big
looked
win
like
for
it was
them.
gonna be a blowout when they
hmm
jumped out to the 17-0 lead. I was like, oh damn, the frogs are rolling, and then they kind of fell asleep, and
Yeah.
Arizona State just
Yeah, Sam Levitt, a great game for him. Hadn't been playing as well as he did last year. A little sophomore slump, but he came back, a good win, and then the nightcap, Houston completed a comeback of their own.
wow.
Got the win
I'm
at
glad I stayed awake for that because I was like when they
hmm
got it down. Was it 24-10? I'm like, well, shit. The
yeah,
way that they've looked, there's no way they're coming back. I'm about to go to bed. But some said, stay awake.
yeah. I was kind of the same way. I was kind of laying on the couch. Watched the end of that Virginia game, watched that Arizona
Yep.
State game, and I was like, I really should go to bed. I hadn't felt terrible yet, but that cough was starting to come in. But I was like, let me just lay
Yeah.
here. If I fall asleep on the couch, that'll be fine. And kind
Yeah.
of dozed off and woke up. I was like, oh wait, Houston's come back now.
Yeah. We got a
And,
game.
and they got that win in overtime. So tough loss for Oregon State at home. Rough year
Yeah.
there for their
That was
having
an
there.
0-5.
Yeah, 0-5 now.
Yeah, that's
But
tough.
yeah, let's see elsewhere. Ohio State goes to Washington. Really kind of dominated that game.
They did. I was tricked into that. I really thought
hmm
Washington was going to at least give them a game there and really win the. I didn't see much of the game, but from what it doesn't seem like it was ever really much
Yeah,
of anything there. So big
yeah,
win, from freshman quarterback going into that hostile atmosphere and getting a win like that. That's big.
absolutely.
First road game.
Indiana, late win over a big fourth quarter to beat Iowa. Tough game there, so
Yeah,
they're 5-0. Iowa State, big win over Arizona. They're 5-0.
heck yeah, they
Um,
dominated them.
yeah. Georgia Tech, a little comeback at Wake. They were on the
Oh
ropes there
wow,
for a second.
were
And
they?
yeah, and
Jesus, man,
a good win for them. We mentioned
that's the team I've
Vanderbilt.
kind of.
hmm
I re- you know I think a lot of people feel the same way, kind of what Mississippi said about Georgia Tech. You just
hmm
want to see those guys win, man. You like how they play. They're
hmm
so they're so they play a kind of that old school football. They're real physical, and you like what you're doing, man. I was like, man, let's not have them go out this way against Wake Forest right now. Like, come on. So I mean, it was good to see there because man, I like this Georgia Tech team.
Yeah, absolutely. I had them in our picks column, so they didn't cover. But yeah, Brent Key there. Of course, he's on the Alabama staff for a little bit.
Hmm.
Haynes King. It's hard to not root for those guys. I mentioned Vanderbilt. They blew out Utah State. Missouri, big win over UMass. Illinois, last second field goal to beat USC. So good bounce
Good
back for
bounce back
them.
for them after
Yeah,
they got
absolutely. Woo.
throttled.
Indiana just
Throttled.
smacked them down.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
excuse me. Speaking of throttling, Sam Pittman is no longer the Arkansas head coach, and
Oh,
that is partially because Notre Dame just, whew, man. I feel like Notre Dame finally, showed their
yeah.
full potential. They were up what
You
42 to
know,
13 at halftime.
yeah. It's like you blunt. I like stepped out the room for something. It was like because they had both scored, and then
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 14. It was close the first quarter, And then I came back in the room and I was just like, what happened?
Yeah, it really did. I mean, Notre Dame was up, let's see, like 14-3 after the first quarter, but I think, let me try to bring up the game flow here. Yeah, Arkansas State scored early in the second to make it 14-10. It was like, okay. And then Notre Dame gets a touchdown. You're like, well, okay, like, but Arkansas still in this, and then it
Yeah,
just
it
like
was
kind of they couldn't stop them.
21
I
to
mean,
28 to, yeah. Like,
let's look at Notre Dame's drives from beginning of the game: touchdown, 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 and then finally in the third quarter they had a turnover of downs, and then touchdown, touchdown, end of game. So
yeah,
that
that
offense
Arkansas
was
defense,
rolling.
yikes.
Yeah. It's tough. A guy like Sam Pittman, just one of the most likable coaches, a great Arkansas guy. But yeah, maybe he just maxed out what he can do there, and now we get interim coach Bobby Petrino.
Who would have ever thought
Oh
that would
man,
ever
just
happen? But
insane.
at the
So
same
yeah,
time, there's been rumors so that he's been kind of this whole time since he's been there, kind of hey, um, I could be that guy for you guys again. So who knows how that is all gonna go? But then at the same time, though, if things don't go well, so I would assume the most they would like to probably make him their full time coach. But I mean, right now he's an interim guy, and do you want that as your full time? I don't know if you want that or not.
yeah. I guess we'll just have to see how the season plays out
See how
because
it
a
goes.
lot of
Because he's
problems on.
pretty old himself. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know if I want that old of a coach in 2025, honestly.
yeah, and their defense is the bigger problem. So
It's
it's
atrocious.
yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
Let's see some other notable scores. BYU little comeback at Colorado to win
Yeah.
24-21. Um, let's see Duke smacked
Wow.
Syracuse down a week
Yeah.
after Syracuse went into Clemson and handed Clemson their third loss already. That's what. It's funny because last week, I was up there checking out scores and everything kind of went according to plan. I was like, okay, so we're not really missing anything huge. And then that's happened. I'm like, oh man, a 1-3 start for Clemson. Just oof.
That is wild.
Like I said, of course, Syracuse did lose their quarterback. I'm blanking on his name right now, but
Yeah, for the transfer from Notre Dame
yeah.
and
So
Jelly.
in
Yeah,
Jelly, that's it. So tough loss for them, and Duke really turned it on. Uh,
turned it on. But yeah, I
Louisville,
mean,
good. Yeah.
yeah, good comeback for Louisville because that was another one. Like the ACC was, like it was just like what's going on in the ACC? Because Louisville's getting throttled by Pitt. I'm like
Mm-hmm.
that, and then at the same time we see Wake Forest throttling Georgia Tech and Duke
Mm-hmm.
running up on Syracuse. Like what is going on in the ACC today?
But yeah, Duke after a 1-2 start the season now 2-0 in ACC play. So maybe they had a little bit of hype before the season, so maybe they're starting to realize that. Darian Min's a good game for him. You mentioned
I mean,
Louisville.
honestly,
Yeah.
it wasn't. They got dominated, but I mean, the two teams that lost to, I mean, you can't. I mean, they lost to Tulane, and they lost to,
Illinois. Yeah. Yeah.
still it's good. I mean, it's not bad losses. It's just, I guess, how they lost. But
No. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Um. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by whatever we were looking at on the Sunday night football game. Something stuck in Josh Jacobs' knee or something. That's weird.
yeah,
Yeah, your Cowboys right now leading Green Bay
we're
late.
hanging. We're hanging.
Yeah, we'll get to the NFL in a second. Other around the country, good win for Kansas State. They needed one
Yeah,
desperately.
they needed one badly.
North Texas improves to 5-0. Good win over South Alabama.
Dude, what was a good game? The Cincinnati Kansas game was a good
Oh,
game.
absolutely shootout.
Another another disappointing loss for Kansas, in the
Mhm.
just same stuff. Bad turnovers.
Yeah,
uh,
tough. That's you get Jalen Daniels, man. He's going to give you 445 and 4 touchdowns, but he's also going to give you turnovers.
and that, yeah,
Uh,
that I mean they were at the 1 yard line. I mean they scored in that drive.
mhm.
That's game.
Yeah.
Then the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed at the end there. That's a
No.
good win for Cincinnati trying to rebound the program a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean that's
for sure.
a big win for them.
Another program that fired their coach last week, Oklahoma State. Just terrible into the Mike Gundy era there.
Oh
Obviously the winningest coach in program history.
yeah.
Just a staple there. Was a great quarterback for them.
Well,
Not
basically, they only had like 3 years since he was in college where he wasn't
yeah,
in Stillwater.
yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens there if he goes somewhere else or if he just calls it a career. But they
Yeah,
did not get the new coach boost. Baylor handled them
no,
pretty easily. So I mean, there are a lot
no.
of problems, and I believe. Did I see they fired Todd Grantham as well?
Did they?
I can't remember if I saw that, but I mean, why you would hire him in the first place is
Really?
anybody's question.
I
But
don't even know how yeah, I don't know how he keeps getting jobs.
yeah, they
Honestly,
they did fire him. So
okay.
that's good
You
for
know
them
that
going forward.
that's a spot, man. It's gonna be tough to get someone in there that can really turn things around. I think just because
Hmm.
without Boone Pickens being there to give him that money, man, whew, and we saw what happened.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there because everyone, kind of thought with Texas and OU leaving it, Oklahoma State might be that program to step up and take over as the big boy in the
Been
Big 12
anything
neighborhood.
but
And
that.
yeah, it has not. Crazy to think, just a
Yeah.
few years ago, they were that 1 yard short of winning the Big 12, and not sure if they would have snuck in that 14 playoff or not, but they definitely would have had a legitimate argument for it.
'Cause, I
Um,
mean, should they be with OU in the last bedlam?
yeah,
And
yeah,
if they beat Texas in the Big 12, you would think they had an argument.
yeah.
That's
But it's tough.
yeah.
Let's see. Utah rebounded a big win over West
What
Virginia.
did that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good rebound for them after getting smoked themselves last weekend.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a couple other looking around the country. How about Hawaii, man? 4-2, going to
Man,
Air
good for
Force.
them.
Yeah, big win there. Tulane, a good win for them. Bounced back after they lost to Ole Miss last week. Excuse me. How about Old Dominion improving to 3-1 and knocking Liberty to 1-4? I believe.
That's crazy.
Yeah, rough look for Liberty there. Virginia Tech, they did get a win, going to NC State and get a big win.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough there.
That's
Mhm.
like Brent Price probably someone like what?
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
was this?
Where the hell this?
Yeah.
Memphis improves to 5-0, a 31-point fourth quarter. Man,
They were in a dogfight.
they were with Florida Atlantic on the road,
Yeah.
tough American, your opening American conference game, and then all of a sudden they just said, you know what, fuck this.
Yeah. Big fourth quarter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stanford a little comeback
And
win to beat San Jose State.
yeah, I can. I didn't. Yeah, I mean, after I kind of fell asleep after the BYU game, but I was like, man, Stanford. That's the game Stanford has to win. They can't lose to San
Hmm.
Jose State.
No,
A good, that was a good win for them. Cause I was like, man, if they can't beat San Jose State, my
yeah.
goodness.
Boise State blows out App State in a big battle of mid majors. Of course, some sad news this week. Former App State coach Sean Clark passed away suddenly,
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
unexpectedly. He was on the UCF staff this year, but unfortunate
Yeah.
news there.
Uh,
Let's see, South Carolina, big win for them. Blew out Kentucky.
they
So
needed that after those two straight losses.
they did first SEC win of the year. Looking like the team a lot of people thought they would be. And
Right.
then in just a crazy shootout, 54-51, Louisiana beats Marshall in what double, triple overtime? Double overtime.
Yeah.
Crazy win there. Anything else from the college game you want to touch on real quick?
Uh, I think we did a pretty good job. Top to bottom, it was an excellent weekend. On the schedule was phenomenal. Every window had
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal games. I mean, there was so much to watch. And Man,
Yeah,
football dream. Honestly,
absolutely. Yeah, a great game. Next week, not as many. A lot of teams on bye next week. Seems like there's a couple of the big ones. Bama Vandy is like we said, that's where game day is going to be, and then Florida State at Miami. A little shine taken off of it with Florida State's loss, but now it becomes desperate for them.
but it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah,
And the fact that
exactly.
those now that they've been punched in the mouth, how do they respond? Same
Hmm.
time overall, Miami. This is the game that they usually find a way to lose most years. So
Hmm.
what did they do in this situation, considering how they look coming into this game? I mean, they've come out the bye week. Florida State loses a game. I mean, Miami's been rolling. This is the game. If Miami wants to say, "Hey, we are the guys of the ACC," you win this game on Saturday.
Absolutely, yeah. And then a couple low key interesting matchups. Texas Tech goes to Houston, two 4-0 teams.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big Big 12 matchup there. And then Texas, they were off this week, right?
Yeah.
And then they go to the swamp. A Florida team that will be desperate for a win, and a Texas team that's looking to prove that they are a national title contender. They had the big win over Sam Houston last week, but it's Sam Houston,
Yeah. It's
So
Sam Houston, but no DJ Lagway, so I don't. But honestly, how
yeah,
bad he's played this year, I don't know if that's a necessarily a hindering thing or not. I don't know.
yeah.
It's
So
crazy enough.
we'll see. And then of
Um,
course I'm sure it's those weeks that look like sleepers that all of a sudden
Wild things happen.
some big thing sneaks up. But
Absolutely.
let's move on NFL real quick. We mentioned your Cowboys right now trying to hang on versus the
Hanging,
Packers.
hanging.
My Ravens, this might
Oh,
be the disaster season. There's one every year. It's a team you think
geez.
just is going to be a contender that all of a sudden this past
Yeah,
Monday got their ass kicked by Detroit, and
and
then
that was bad.
today just blown out by the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson goes out with a hamstring injury, so we'll see what happens that.
Everybody's hurt on the defense, and
7 starters are now hurt for the defense. That's just
they're and they're struggling when they're all out there together.
I was about to
Jesus,
say it doesn't matter because they've been looking bad. And then a weird thing for Ravens football, it's the lines are the problem, man. The
that's yeah,
offensive
that's
line is just the pass protection's been
this.
terrible this
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
They haven't really been blocking great for Derrick Henry, and then a defensive line is just getting pushed around. I mean, Detroit ran
right.
all over
Yeah, where
the
they had
Ravens on Monday. Yeah.
well, two 90-plus yard drives. I was like, my goodness.
Oh yeah, that is not. It's not Super Bowl contender. And then of course, so now yeah, you worry if you're a Ravens fan, you worry about the Lamar injury, but you also there's other questions, man. So
It's a lot
especially when
going on.
yeah, I mean the Steelers improved to 3-1 today.
Yeah.
The Bengals will play tomorrow night
Hmm.
at Denver, so that's Denver will be desperate for a win there.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those double header or two Monday night games. The other one is Jets at Dolphins at 0-3.
Oh,
Snooze fest. No.
I
We
don't
got a good
even
Thursday
even
night game.
stay up for that.
Seahawks.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Let's see. Elsewhere, the Rams ended the Colts' hot start to the season.
Yeah.
Jaguars went to San Fran, kind of got a surprise win
Got to
there.
win.
Um, let's
Mac
see.
Jones would have won though. No, that would have been
Yes.
great though. Mac was there for a little bit. You
Hmm.
know, he was the backup there. Give him one more week, beat his former team. But yeah, no, but that's a good win for the Jaguars. I mean,
Yeah, much
they're
needed one too. That's kind of
absolutely
prove that you're a contender. Texans finally got a win after their terrible start. They just beat the crap out the Titans today. Looked a lot
it's gonna be a
better.
long year for the
Yeah.
Titans. Long year.
The Eagles held on to beat Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay despite having 0 passing yards in the second half. That's
Yeah,
absolutely
crazy.
crazy. The Chargers go into New York and lose to the Giants
And
somehow.
lose.
Um,
But the bad thing for the Giants, man, they lose looks like Malik Neighbors towards ACL there. So
yeah, just a bad plan on that landing. but it definitely
You're
looks like
selfish to ruin my fantasy teams.
uh,
Selfish of 'em.
tough for him too to lose. Or when Jackson Dart looks like it was the right move to put him in.
Yeah, to lose your number one guy like that, that's tough. But kudos to them, man. Get a big win over a team that's really starting to look like, man, maybe this is their year to win the West. The Chargers were looking pretty good going into this game. So
Yeah. Um, Falcons bounce back. That weird blown out at Carolina last week. Turn around this week and win at home. They are such a
yeah,
different home and away team. It's kind of weird.
yeah, it was so weird though. The Falcons are very weird in
Yeah.
general.
The Bills got a much bigger fight from the Saints than they thought they were going to get,
Yeah,
but held on there. Lions took care of business against Cleveland, and the Patriots blew out the Panthers there. So, yeah, like I said, we're looking. Uh-oh. Did we get a turn? No, no. Looks like. Wait, did we get a turnover in this game, or did has Green Bay had the ball for a minute? I thought Dallas had
they've
the
had the
ball.
ball for a minute.
Okay, yeah. So big third down right here, though.
It was a big third down.
But yeah, let's see. Elsewhere in the world of sports, WNBA playoffs. The Mercury upset the Lynx, knocked them out. They will be going to the WNBA finals. They await the winner of the Fever and Aces, which that will come down to a game 5 on Tuesday. The Fever, man, doing it without Caitlin Clarks.
Of course we did.
And then what's the Lynx's coach? What's her last name's Reeve. I'm trying to think. Cheryl Reeve, man, an all-time great rant in her press conference the other night, dropping a few F-bombs there about the officiating.
Yeah,
There's
it was a
stuff
good
right
one.
there. Yeah. And then our Major League Baseball playoffs are set.
Man,
The Mets completed their choke job, man. Just rough,
yeah, they
rough,
did.
rough for them. ESPN.com's actually got a really good article about kind of moments that define that season. I mean, June 13th, they were 20 games above 500, about like 5 games ahead of the Phillies in the NL East, and then just after that, Jesus. So
And just fell apart for
for a Braves fan like myself, it's about one little
him. One bright spot on the
one
season.
little bright spot. If we can't have it, at least the Mets fail too. Charlie Morton re-signed with the Braves too for this week. Came in, played what might be the final game of his career, a long career there. Got a good strikeout. Of course, the Braves are assholes and decided to go on like a 10-game winning streak this month and
Yeah, of
look like the team they should have been all year. But
course.
playoff set in the AL, their Jays are the 1 seed, Mariners are the 2 seed. Your Yankees, the 4 seed there, they'll host the Red Sox, man. Yankees, Red Sox playoff series.
Crazy.
3 games in New York. The Guardians will host the Tigers in the other series there. Yanks and the winner of the Yanks, Red Sox will go on to play the Blue Jays.
The Tigers tried to do everything they could not to make the
I tell you, man, speaking of teams choke job, they almost had a monumental one. In fact, they did lose the division to Cleveland, so
Yeah,
all the momentum's on Cleveland's side there.
Tried
Yeah.
not to make the playoff.
Yeah, and they get to host the series. Over in the NL, Milwaukee's your 1 seed, Philly's your 2 seed. Milwaukee will play the winner of the Padres at Cubs, and then the Reds stole that spot from the Mets. They go to the Dodgers.
Man, the Dodgers. I mean the Reds. I mean they're just that's the team you like to see make the playoffs. I mean they're a young team. You see a lot of potential there, and for them to already be in the playoffs, man, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Especially they're a team that people know the name De La Cruz now if you're a baseball fan, but you don't get to see him outside of highlights. The Reds
Right.
aren't on national TV a lot, so I mean, unless you're a Reds fan or watch Junkie, man, you'll get to see him prime time national TV. Enjoy that because he's a hell of a player.
Yeah, and then let's see some other miscellaneous stuff. We mentioned earlier the SEC did announce their 3 permanent opponents. I think they
Yeah.
did about as good as a job as they can do when trying to balance traditional rivalries and competitive balance, which is what they were going for. I mean, personally, I wouldn't worry so much about the competitive balance because it's going to even out. You can make that work elsewhere in the schedule, but they did. I think
Right.
Alabama, they did right by Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and Mississippi State. I know people want to say LSU, but if you really, and it has been a long time rivalry, but it really only became a huge thing,
When Nick Saban
starting.
came back to Tuscaloosa.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, before that, it
It was a
wasn't.
game. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
but I mean, it wasn't like I think it was a bigger thing for LSU fans prior to
Oh,
that.
absolutely. If you ask some older Alabama fans, it was always like LSU hates us. We just don't care about them. And Alabama's had
Yeah.
a long, Alabama's like, for all those teams that are, oh, Death Valley's, the toughest place in the country. That's never been the case for Alabama. They have a winning record in
No.
Death Valley.
Throughout history, like it's not
Yeah.
even a
Yeah. It's,
yeah,
it's, it's, it's Bryant Denny West.
yeah,
So I
absolutely.
think state is the right thing. We played them more times than any other team in history. It's 82 miles between
And it's so
campuses. Yeah.
close. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it makes sense. I
I
mean,
think
as we see, I mean LSU's still on the schedule next year, so I mean, and
exactly.
plus
They're
they can if they want to, they can switch it every 4 years. They review it, and if they think something could be better, then they might switch it.
yeah.
At the same time, I mean, it goes, but I thought for the most part, I thought most of the permanent rivals were actually pretty good there.
Yeah, there's like
Probably the,
a couple weird ones.
yeah, like OU Ole Miss.
Yeah, that one you could,
Lane Kiffin was like, dude, we don't have anything in common with them.
th-
Why?
they've
So that
played
was pretty fun. But
2 times the entire history. Oh,
that
look
was
at this. Cowboys
George Pickens.
touchdown.
Yeah,
George Pickens, what a game he's having
got a
tonight.
game.
Cowboys take the lead with what
Numbers
40
through the
seconds or
roof.
so to go. Oh, look at Jerry, he's happy. Calm down, Jerry. You give yourself a
We
stroke.
still got 40 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, 40 seconds, and I think Green Bay still has all 3 timeouts, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. As far as they go, I mean, look at Arkansas gets Missouri, Texas, LSU. I think that's about as perfect as you can ask for there.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Auburn gets Georgia, Alabama, and then Vandy. That's another one. You're like, okay, although if you look at that, it's actually I think that series is like 22-22-1 all time. Which is
Yeah, it's very tight,
crazy.
very tight on history. But
Florida
I
gets
mean,
Georgia, South. Yeah, we do lose a couple. Florida, Tennessee's not on there, but even so, historically, that really only became a thing when the SEC split into divisions.
right. I think that was probably the biggest thing that I noticed right away was, oh, we don't have Florida, Tennessee every year.
Yeah, Florida, Tennessee. Some people talked about like LSU, Florida, or LSU, Auburn, but I mean LSU got Arkansas and Ole Miss. Like, okay, yeah, those are huge rivalries. And then they
The
get A and
A&M one
M.
makes
And it's become a big one.
yeah. And they're right
Like,
next to each other. Texas and Louisiana, two states just don't get along. So why not?
yeah, you got Missouri gets Arkansas, Oklahoma, and then A and M. Maybe like the A and M one. Maybe you could say switching. Like maybe should A and M have gotten Arkansas instead or something? Or
I mean,
Oklahoma
I
even.
want to
But
say, I could
yeah,
say that what's the name is probably a. I mean, I would think. I mean, I get like I would say OU and A&M is one that I would have liked to see.
yeah, I think
I mean, I
that.
get, I get, I get why I mean, I get OU having a Mizzou on the schedule just because former Big A, Big 12, and A&M has Mizzou too. I would rather personally, I'd rather see OU and A&M, but I mean, you can only get that. You can't get everything.
Yeah, pulling up when we talked about it, I think it was probably a couple years ago now, but when we first talked about the idea of permanent opponents,
Yeah,
we had as Oklahoma, we had Mizzou, Texas, and Texas A&M.
yeah,
For let's see, LSU, we had State, Ole Miss, and A&M. So Arkansas got Missouri, Ole Miss, and Texas.
Yeah.
Which I think, again, those are like a lot of close, Oxford and Fayetteville aren't too far away. Arkansas, and Fayetteville and Columbia aren't that far. And then Arkansas, Texas, a
No,
big classic rivalry.
it's just a rivalry, right?
For Auburn, we had Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And yeah, that's tough if all of those programs are at their top. But, they're not always going to be at the top of their game. But
They're not always going to be there.
yeah, for Oklahoma, we had Missouri, Texas, Texas A&M. For A&M, we had LSU, Oklahoma, Texas. For Arkansas or Texas, we had Arkansas, OU, and Texas A&M, obviously, which is, I think, what they ended up getting anyway. Yeah, that's what they get in this. So, yeah, there's a couple weird ones, and some people might cry like lack of competitive. If you look at Tennessee, they have Alabama, Vandy, and Kentucky. You might say, well, that's not that balanced, but man, they've played Vanderbilt, Kentucky.
Vandy is like,
Well, that's true too. Yeah, right. And plus, they've played Vanderbilt and Kentucky both over 100 times in their history. I mean, sometimes you just got to go with the historical rivalry.
right.
And, like, I don't have a problem with that. Yeah.
No, I mean it makes sense.
Yeah. Like I said,
Especially, I mean, Vandy and Tennessee. I mean, they're right. Nashville, the Knoxville's not too far, and they don't like each other. They legitimately don't like each other, so
yeah, exactly.
it makes sense. So,
And I think, like I said, the weirdest ones that were are the OU and Ole Miss, and then Auburn, Vandy are probably the two that you look at and go like, I don't know. Like Vanderbilt
but
got.
but then you have to look at too. I mean, what would you switch, and that would make somebody else match up weird as well. So
Yeah, so for
you got nice
ours.
fair ones.
Yeah, exactly. For ours, we had, Vanderbilt gets Tennessee State and Auburn, and for ours, we had Vandy getting Kentucky, Tennessee, and Missouri. Which that Missouri one, that's obviously the weird one, but that's also what happens when you bring in these teams that have, decades of history with other programs, and then all of a sudden you're kind of forcing them into these rivalries. But you could also, it's still a little bit better than, I don't know if you caught this with the Oregon-Penn State game, but they're starting some Venmo rivalry series or whatever, and they had that painted on the field for the Oregon-Penn State game. Yeah, big-time classic rivalry there, Oregon and Penn State.
Oregon, Penn State. But
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the weird thing too is like Penn State's biggest rivals aren't even in the damn big. Have never been in the Big Ten.
No, yeah, I mean, there's
Pittsburgh and
there's they had a chance, I think, to join the original Big East when they started playing football, and they ended up not doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're rivals are Pitt, West Virginia. They have a classic one with. So there's an alternate universe, where they're in. The Big East is more of a who knows, maybe it never went away, and Penn State's part of it.
I mean, you think about it. I mean, the bit. I mean, they've been there for a while now, so it doesn't seem super crazy. But I mean, honestly, Penn State really doesn't fit the Big Ten. I mean, they're not nowhere in the Midwest. I mean, it's weird, but
Yeah, it's definitely it's weird because people these days kind of think of them as a traditional Big Ten team. They kind of don't realize that they really didn't join the Big Ten until what was that 92 or so when they actually joined. Excuse me. All right. Well, I think that's my throat telling me it's had enough talking. So, anything else in the world of sports you want to touch on?
Hopefully we can get this win, man. Because I mean, we're not going to have too many based upon how our defense is. So I mean, if we could pull this one, that would be huge. But it did help me win fantasy this week. Pickens.
There you go. There you go.
So
I do not want to talk about my fantasy team right now. So, rough season for me right now. My receivers are just not helping me out at all.
Not where we need to be at. Yeah.
Yeah. But, so we got 12 seconds left in this game. We can start our little spiel here. Thanks, as always, for listening, folks. Do subscribe, like us, rate us, whatever you do on the podcast platform you listen to us on. Check out the AlabamaTake.com for the entire family of Alabama podcasts. You can see our Taking Bets column every Friday there. I think I had another 2-2 week. Greg, I think you had another disappointing week. Yet, despite you were,
Yeah, I
are you
think
still?
1-3. It's not
Yeah,
my time. It's not my season at
but
all.
are you still? I haven't checked. But are you still in first place in our Pick'em group? Because
I went down a little bit but
did you? Okay, I had a
yeah, I
terrible week
went
in
down a
that
little.
too. I got
This
man. ESPN screwed me
this
in the
college
confidence
football
point.
season has been weird.
It has, and ESPN screwed me. I made my confidence group picks, and then I went to check them after the games kicked off Saturday, and it said I hadn't made any. And then, of course, this was a week where like 6 of the games all
Oh,
kicked off at noon, and so they were all locked. And so I just made my picks for the last 4 games real quick, and
oh,
I got
that
I got
sucks.
I got 3 of 4 of them. So it was like my 7, 8, 9, 10 pointers, but I missed. I think I picked Penn State to actually win, and they did not. So I didn't get the max points I could have out of those 4, but.
Yeah,
So that pretty much, that might just eliminate me from that one here. Well, throws that out of bounds. So I guess we're going to get a big long field goal attempt here to tie it.
yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
this college football season might be one of the most unpredictable ones because every week you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, it
And
is.
really, I mean, there's nobody. I mean, I don't even know who's playing the best football right now. Maybe Oregon. I mean, because they've been blowing out everybody and then going in and getting the whiteout win.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Like it's
but
it's
I mean,
bounced.
it's like,
Yeah, it's kind of bounced around from week to week. Maybe it's Ohio State. Drilled that. So it
right,
looks like we are going to overtime in Dallas.
yeah, going to overtime. I mean, Ohio State's looked, good. I mean, good road win there. I mean, they beaten Texas. They went out to Seattle and dominated the Huskies there. So I mean, they're looking good.
Yeah, they're doing what they're handling business like they should.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody else, I mean, everything else is just so wide open. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
have Alabama bouncing back, but at the same time, I mean, you have Vanderbilt's undefeated, Ole Miss is undefeated,
Mm-hmm.
Missouri's undefeated,
Mm-hmm.
A&M's undefeated. I mean, the SEC is just crazy. And then you have, your one losses. You have Georgia, Alabama, LSU. I mean, so I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
SEC is every week. Who knows? I mean, the Big 12. I mean, crazy enough may not be as crazy as some of the other conferences this year, but it's still going to be, uh, you know, uh, I mean, you have what right now Texas Tech seems to be on a different level. I mean, Iowa State quietly is putting together a hell of a season, so I mean that's going to be an interesting finish there. The
Mm-hmm.
ACC, who the hell knows what's going on there?
Yeah.
I mean, we're just all over the place.
Mm.
It's great.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, as I said, as usual, tell your friends about us. Tell your rich friends about us. If you're a business, you want to sponsor us, holler at us. Follow us on all the socials at Taking on Sports. Like I said, check out the alabamatake.com. You can find everything there. And I think that's it. That does it for us. Greg, good luck to your Cowboys here in overtime.
Yeah, we need it.
And I will talk to you next week, and hopefully we get to talk about a big 30-point Alabama win over Vandy.
Man, biggest Alabama Vanderbilt game of all time.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
All right,
crazy.
man. I will catch you
All
next
right,
week.
buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.